What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with a Clash of Clans video. Can you believe it? Talking all about the event this weekend, the Champions War League. And to top it off, to make this even better, even more special, I've got a special guest with me, Clash with Ash. What's going on, buddy?
Dude, Jake, what's going on, man? This is a huge event. You're
Oh, it
uploading a
was
Clash of
epic.
Clans video.
Well, that's an event in and of itself,
It
but
is.
because it's been about what I think like 6 months now, so it's been a while. But
It's crazy, man.
the Champions War League event, man. I didn't know much about this. I knew there was something going on, rumblings, and as things progressed, I started getting more messages. Hey, seeing more things on Twitter, and my people in OneHive made it all the way to the finals, which was obviously a big boost for me. But just the event in general was, and I know we're going to talk about some negative things in this video, but I want to get it out right out of the gates. In my opinion, by far and away, the best thing Clash of Clans has ever done.
Yeah, dude, I'm so happy to hear you say that because I was really curious what the Jake's critical eye would think of the event, because I know you're not afraid to tell it how it is. So I'm happy that you thought overall it was positive because I
Yeah.
definitely it was one of those things that, man, when One Hive made it to the finals, I'm sure I'm not the only one out there. I'm sure everybody, especially is watching this video, was like, "Damn, Jake should have been there." Like if only this was Jake's moment. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's why it was cool to see One Hive there, and at the same time, it was a little bittersweet not to have you there with us in the booth. But at the same time, yeah, man, I'm happy to talk to you about the event, what you thought of it, and maybe drag your ass out of retirement a little bit, at least
We'll see.
quasi out
Yeah.
of retirement.
Well,
So.
at least get one video out of me. That's the minimum, right? So that's
Hey, man,
that's something.
absolutely. I'm gonna take full credit, by the way, for getting you for getting this
Uh,
video uploaded.
you got it, man. You got it. And yeah, I did like it. I liked a lot of things
Yeah,
about it. I like the fact that you had definitely, I mean, no question, some serious high level war attacks being put out there, being saying, hey, here, that's what we always sort of complained about. Oh, every time they had an event, it was like this. I don't even know what you'd call it, but this was legitimate. High level, fair play guys that were battling out. And yes, I was definitely bummed that One Hive didn't win it. Not that we're anything more special than any other clan. It would just been a little bit storybook ending, at least for me. We fought for so many years for something so similar to what was there. But I'm super, super proud of all the guys. I mean, they really, I think, surprised a lot of people and
yeah.
shown that One Hive is obviously still relevant in the war scene.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that it was honestly such a pleasure to meet the One Hive, the three reps who were there, LB, Lord Byron, Atoma, and Eve. And those were
Yeah.
like three really good guys, really good representatives to have there. I'm curious, like to start out with, what do you think of the format in terms of just having three representatives, one for each town hall level for each clan? Did you want to see more people, less people, or do you think that was kind of cool?
It was cool, and this is one thing that I don't know. I guess the answer is I don't know what's going to be right until you see it. I guess until it feels right. That didn't feel right. Obviously, I would love to see 20 people there.
Yeah.
Having a get. They're all huddled around. They're planning attacks. They're doing all that stuff that's more realistic. I know it's always done on TeamSpeak and Twiddler and things like that, but that's sort of how it naturally happens. To have three there, they felt sort of separated from the clan, which I didn't love. But I know that's a logistical nightmare. I mean, you can't fly 40 people. Well, I mean, you could, but you're not going to fly 40 people to Estonia and things like that, which is another thing that I kind of wish would change. But uh, I like the format, but it would almost, in my mind, have been better if none of them were there. If it was just you guys covering the attacks, I would like to have seen more replays. The end of the war, while it was epic, don't get me wrong, no one knew who was going to win. I was at one moment I thought, man, we got this in the bag. The next moment it was like, oh, we're screwed. But most of what we were seeing live was Town Hall 11 dips. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. I know it's part of war. It's always been part of war. It's not the most exciting. What I would
Yeah.
love to see is a couple of those hand-picked replays that were just epic. You know what I mean?
No, I totally hear you. And it was weird because, as you know, the first time we were doing something like this too, is that like PB went through and he picked like all his favorite three-star attacks
Hmm.
from the first, whatever, 2 hours of battle day. And we didn't get to any of them, if I remember correctly, because
Yeah.
we wanted to catch all the live attacks. And as you said, you know how it is. Your viewers know how it
Yeah.
is. It's all dip, not all dips, but it's at the end of the war, it's 90% just dips and then
Hmm.
maybe if we're lucky, we get a 3v3, 3-star attempt on a, 11 or maybe a couple 10v10s. That's
Yeah.
pretty much how it was. We actually didn't show one 3-star at all at Town Hall 9 or one attack at all at Town Hall 9, I
Yeah.
don't think, in the stream. So you're right. Like, I think the format maybe needs a little work. It's so tough to get a 24-hour war streamed in a way that can translate the full excitement, but at the same time get like as much content because there were so many great attacks, whether they were 9 on 9 or 10 on 10s before the actual live stream went. So it's just tough. Like, did you come up with any ideas yourself in terms of how the
Well,
format could be better?
yeah, I think you need more time. Bottom line, 2 hours. The last 2 hours of war is constant action in and of itself most of the time. I mean, it's it's already built in, so you don't like you said. I think y'all snuck in like one replay.
Yeah.
I would say a 4 hour. You've got some windows there. You've got some dead time, and I know it's a lot. That's a lot to ask of anybody. The casters or whatever, the production, all of it. It's a lot to do. But you as a stream, I've streamed the last 4 hours on a war. It's not impossible. It's definitely doable, and it can still be entertaining the whole time. One other thing I would say is that I felt like one of Supercell's mistakes is and it's kind of weird to say this, but they want to make it such high production value that sometimes it almost jams themselves up. Trying to just switch between an iPad or two, it's like there's always a cut scene and going back and forth through it. It needs to be more in your hands as a caster to say, "Hey, I need this," and then 2 seconds later, that's what the viewer's looking at.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for the Clash of Clans, every time we're watching the little, I'm talking about the little cutscene going, the transition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you need more time, and I think you need more control as a caster to make it more enjoyable for me, the viewer.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the first how we had it formatted was like the first half an hour or so was like scripted when I interviewed the
Hmm.
clans
Which is
and when
cool. Which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed that. But after that, the last hour and a half, it was basically like a free for all. And then the team, the production did the best they could to stay with what we were talking about, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely think it was a little not a little. I think there were some issues hopping into the live attacks on time, you know?
Hmm.
And ironically, we're sitting there and sometimes we couldn't even get into them because people were spectating, you
Yeah.
know?
Wow.
And it was
Yeah.
just like, man, that's embarrassing at a live event that we can't get into an actual attack. But,
Yeah.
not to be all negative either, like I was so impressed with uh especially dark looters who, all German, English not their first language.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the players because normally they're glued to their screens, they're on TeamSpeak, as you said, and they're in the comfort of their own homes. So, like, to be there and having to engage with us, I'm not sure how they ended up feeling about it. I didn't get a chance to really talk to them afterwards, but I was impressed with them. Like, I really, as the caster for it, I enjoyed being able to bounce ideas off them. I'm just not sure if they
Hmm.
enjoyed bouncing it back to us, you know?
Sure. It's always tough when you get a language thing, but I thought they all did great.
Yeah.
Obviously, super talented guys. I mean, these guys are at the top of their game, but to go undefeated in something with that many wars is just almost impossible. And they did it. So you're right. They not only just in the wars did they do great, but I thought they did great. I don't speak another language, so if someone tried to interview me in German, I would do a lot worse than they did. So yeah, definitely, they did well.
Yeah, do you think the future, like, so here's another issue with the format, and it's an issue that it's really awesome and it's really, negative when you get to the live stream, is that I think the perfect idea, touching back on what you said in the beginning of this video, I think one of the best ideas would be to have like a straight up 10v10 of the 10 best
Hmm.
players versus the 10 best players in a short war, like all streamed, the whole thing streamed. And
Exactly.
I know they've tried stuff like that in the past. That was before Friendly Challenge. They had to like do it with the devs and stuff.
Yeah.
So, or Friendly War rather. So, I guess my question to you is given the CWL format where you're warring 30v30 or 40v40, or like, do you think that it would ruin the format? And maybe the viewers can chime in too in the comments. Do you think it would ruin it if both teams, after a whole season of playing 30 or 40v40, you think it would ruin the whole format or the spirit of the league if they sent their 10 best representatives or something like that that's more feasible to do in a studio?
Yeah, this goes back to like what you and I, the conversations we had oh so long ago about what we
Yeah.
sort of envisioned for this, and again, it's close. It's not there. It's close. But I kind of see it both ways. If you do it 40 versus 40, I think you got to stick with it. That being said, I think that Clash needs to expand this. We've begged for it for a while to a 10v10, a 5v5, a fast, high pace, fast paced war with smaller things that you could, as a streamer or as a caster, um, get the whole thing because it's a whole different dynamic when you're getting the whole thing versus when you're stepping into it in the last 2 hours of a 24-hour war.
Yeah, no, yeah, I totally agree with it. Yeah, it's weird because I agree with you that it kind of it goes against I'm not a
Hmm.
CWL admin, neither are you, so it's really up to them, obviously, in Supercell. But like outside looking in, uh, it would be really cool to see an abbreviated war,
Yeah,
and the best players in the world is going head to head.
yeah,
What we
absolutely.
ended up seeing instead was the last 2 hours of a war were where there was a lot of amazing attacks, and we only saw the very end, which was pretty exciting. Did you think, like, on the positive note, did you think it was pretty exciting leading up to the very end there? Because it was kind of up in the air for a while.
No question, no question. I thought we had it. Was even actually talking to Anna a little bit. I was like, I think we got it in the bag. And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden, it was like too many hits on the 10 on 11s, and I was like, it's over. There's no way we've wasted too many. And it just that their 10 on 11s were too tough, and we couldn't get those 2 stars. And I was like, it's tipped. It's tipped now because they've got 11 attacks left. We've got 11 attacks left. But it was definitely suspenseful, and it was definitely up in the air. I think till the last 5 minutes, for sure.
yeah. Honestly, I thought that OneHive was going to pull it off, leading
Yeah.
into the live stream. Like it's funny, like maybe a half an hour before we went live, half an hour before the last
Oh
2 hours
yeah.
of the war, I was like, wow, this might be a OneHive blowout because at that point they had like 4 or 5 10v10 3 stars, and all they needed to do, like you said, was clear the 11s,
Yep.
and things just at the very end. I mean, they ended up Dark Looters ended up winning by one, so it was so close at the end.
Yeah.
But
It was epic.
just geez, it was crazy. I mean,
It
I was so
was.
proud of One Hive too. Knowing those guys a little bit better than Dark Looters. But like I said before, Dark Looters, their reps, Bronx, King Tim, and who the heck was their third guy? Oh, Itzu, obviously.
Yeah.
Those guys were amazing to meet too. So it's really cool. As you know that it's awesome when you get people who are great players and great people, and definitely the guys who were there were all of those.
Absolutely, and just given the history of the war scene, it's great to have people like that represent us. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's just great. It's good to see. Hey, man, we got to stop here. Obviously, you and I could talk about this for an hour just
yeah,
on this subject,
yeah.
but we're going to try to split this up.
Yes.
So for the second half of this conversation, you're going to need to jump on over to Ash's channel. If you don't know where that is, you need to come out from under your rock. Check the
Shut
description
up.
because the link will be there, and we'll continue on from there.
And a little teaser, I will grill Jake on a possible return to Clash of Clans to YouTube. So yeah, catch us over there.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Until you see us over there, Jake and Ash reminding you guys to suck less.